Hi everyone, thanks for joining me here on my deck. Have you ever had a flashback? Something that transports you back in time? If I ever smell anything buttery or sulfur, I flash back 33 years to Toledo, Ohio, when I was pregnant with my first son, Jordan. Those two smells were prevalent there, and I would get so upset and nauseated. Well, this past June, when I was at Lucille's greenhouse with my second son, Josiah, and we were shopping for all these flowers that you see here on my deck, I had a flashback. As we were going up and down all the rows, I turned, and there, running wild, running loose, was this big rooster. And I had a flashback immediately to my summer affair. It was the summer that my mean rooster hunted me down daily with his long spurs on the back of his heels, his chiseled beak that would scare any child, and his big cocky chest full of pride. I was terrified that summer. I lived in fear that summer because he chased me everywhere. He chased me on top of the well house. He chased me on top of the car. He chased me everywhere. And so I had to carry a broom such as this to keep him at bay. And my mom would always say, "Show him who's boss, Leanne," because she feared nothing. I laughed that day at the greenhouse when I shared the story with Josiah, as we looked down at the rooster now that appeared so much smaller than that rooster of my childhood that was a towering, lurking monster of a huge, giant rooster. Well, now I'm able to laugh because I faced my fears of that rooster years ago. What roosters or fears are chasing you? It's not uncommon to have fears. Many people have fears, such as the fear of failure, the fear of loneliness, the fear of death, and the fear of public speaking. You know who's the author of all these fears? It's Satan. He wants you running, he wants you cowering, and he wants you suffering, because then you're ineffective for God. And that's where he wants you. He wants you ineffective for God. Well, I had had enough of it that summer of fear, so I finally took charge. I called upon my king, and he came to my side. And King happened to be my dog. But when I look back now, my dog King, he represented God. And I called on King, and he came to my side, and we hunted down that rooster, and we ended his antics that very day. With God's assistance, you too can address your fears and take away that very loud voice that you've given Satan. In Psalms 23, it says, "I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." And when I look back, that rod and staff was really the broom that I used to chase down my fear, to chase down my rooster. And what does the rod and staff in Psalms 23 represent? It represents leaning on God. That's what staffs are for. It's to lean on, to give you strength, to give you comfort, to keep going down that path of life. So call on your king, like I called on my dog, and pull out that broom and lean on it. It's your rod and staff. And fight off Satan and quiet his very, very loud voice. And as my mom would say, show that rooster who's boss. Show those fears who's boss. In the powerful name of Jesus.